Are you ready to create a life you crave? Let's spin that doom loop of negativity into an upward success cycle and start living lucky. Good morning. I'm Jana.
I'm Jason.
And we are living lucky. I hope you are too. The art reveals the artist.
Unicorns and rainbows. Lucky charms.
Where did you see this? Tell me how this topic came about.
So I feel like this is just something that someone said when I was at Passion Camp with all the kids. And they were talking about when you listen to an Ed Sheeran song, when you listen to Prince, when you see like a Picasso or a Dali, you can kind of feel what the artist was feeling at the time through their medium.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because whenever I would read books growing up, my dad would always say, read about the author and kind of read what they were going through at the time when they wrote the book. Like what they were, what were they experiencing? Why did this come up at this time? Or, you know,
that's next level parenting right there.
Right? Thanks, Dad. But you're right. And when I do look at art, you know, you can look at a Picasso and you think, yeah, that's a Picasso. Or, you know, the one that I'm really into is the Jean-Michel. Do you know who I'm talking about?
The karate guy from
Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Oh, Basquiat. Basquet.
It is. Oh dear.
Oh wow. That was something.
Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, a little tickle in the back of the throat.
This Jean-Michel Basquiat. I think that's how
I've
you
seen
say
the
his
name. I don't know how to say it.
Okay, well, he collaborated a lot with Andy Warhol later in his career. But I love his art. I love his art. In fact, when we were in Greece, remember that ring that I wanted to buy? That's how I discovered him. His art is really, really unique. However, I always think I wouldn't want to put his art on our wall because there's a little darkness to it. And I think,
are there spirits in there that might kind of come, like,
yes,
be ready to grab onto a spirit of mine and put the shadow on it?
Yeah. I'm thinking that if I put that, it might make me in a little bit of a dark mood. And so then now that you've just said that,
energy is contagious.
I think after watching the documentaries about Jean-Michel Basquiat, I can see where his energy was a little dark. Like he had a lot of heaviness to him.
There are things that we know.
Yes.
And one thing that we know is that energy is contagious.
That is definitely true.
So
I say that all the time.
And we buy art because of the way it makes us feel.
Yes.
And the kind of the emotions and the feelings that it brings up in us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some people buy it just because it has a high price tag and they want the status, you know. But so, yeah, that's a great reason not to get something if you don't want that energy around you.
But the same with music. I mean, you think of like Beatles songs and the reason that the Beatles were so contagious and so brilliant is there's a vibration to their music and it's on a next level. Same with the Beach Boys. Their music is on a next level vibration that makes us feel a certain way that we can't even pinpoint. It's on a subconscious level.
Well, that's why some of my motivational triggers are The Greatest Showman soundtrack, Trolls. Like
I know. I love Trolls.
The silly little soundtracks that get me super amped up and super excited to start doing things that are productive and showing up the way I want to show up. Then there's things like Bon Jovi and things that get me in the mood for spring break or kind of breaking free and saying, you know what, I'm going to go explore things right now instead of producing things right now.
And at that same time, I can remember when I was listening to Creep all the time. I'm not a perfect person. Oh, no, 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 no. You remember?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a really melancholy song. It makes you feel like you just want to go jump off a building, right?
Well, it's so for me, like I used to like to listen to that because when I was feeling like I'm not enough, I'm a piece of crap.
Yeah.
When the art reflects the artist, we have to think about how are we showing up in the world. So an orange tree produces oranges.
Right.
You go to that tree to get the orange. When we show up in the world, we are a reflection of what we are giving the world. We are the energy that we are bringing to the world.
That's so good.
And if we want people to accept us, if we want people, I'm not saying change yourself to be anything, but a lot of times we're reflecting
what's on the inside. So if we go to a party and we're gossiping,
and we're not reflecting our soul. We're reflecting hurt and things like that are because maybe our soul has been hurt, but it's because we're not feeding our soul. We're not giving ourselves the love and the nutrients that we deserve. And we're not giving ourselves the things that we love in life because we're trying to please so many people and we're trying to be everything everyone else needs us to be.
So what you're saying is look at the fruit that we're producing and it will say a lot about what kind of soil we're stewing in.
Yes, absolutely. So
and
then,
what kind of nutrients we are giving ourselves.
Yeah, and then because you change yourself. You don't if a plant is not doing well and not flourishing, you don't yell at the plant. You change the soil and you change the pot
or the location or the amount of sun.
So you have to work on yourself. And feed yourself. Like when we started reading, when we started giving ourselves better information, that created we're masterpieces, but we're also a work of art in process. So it's okay to show up as a Jackson Pollock every now and then. Yeah, and it's okay to be a creep every now and then.
Or like I say, I had a blue period. I mean, when I look at my art and even some of my journals, I look back and I go, yeah, I was feeling a little dark at that time. I went through a clown phase where I was literally so obsessed with clowns that had really sad eyes, but had like these smiles on the outside. And what I think my soul was trying to project is a facade, this outer exterior, but the inside didn't match what was being projected.
Yeah. Or for me, it was like, wow, I really behaved poorly that day. I really responded poorly that day, like very badly. And affected other people in the way I showed up and reacted. And it's okay. It's not okay to do that.
But as long as you're aware. It's about awareness.
It's in the past. It's go and if I can make amends for it, do that. But I don't need to beat myself up over it. I need to know just what you said, awareness. Now what do I do moving forward? I'm a work in progress. How
can I be better?
How can I be better? What am I doing well? How do I improve on it?
And how can I be teaching me? It's the empowering questions that we often talk about.
And
how can I use this to be my best self?
And how do I want to present myself
in the future
going forward? Who am I growing into? Because the art is going to represent the artist, and I want to represent well.
Oh, I love that. I want my art to be full of love and kindness and peace, hope, possibility, potential. That's what I want my art to be. Dreams. I want my art to be dreams and vitality and energy and serving and giving and value and gold. That's what I want my art to be.
You're doing it. We're doing it every day.
Okay, so I guess the question that we all should ask ourselves is, what do we want our art to be? What do we want our art to be? And then we should pick the supplies and the paint. We should pick everything that will create the art that we want to represent.
And nourish yourself with it.
Oh, such a good discussion. The art reveals the artist. Oh, I love this so much. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that little nugget, because now I am going to view it with just a slightly different perspective.
Well, I know that you love art.
I do.
And I see all the beauty and just kind of joy in that. And I can see those times when you're feeling a certain way. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I don't respond because I know that you're just working through it, because I know that you're a happy, joyful, energetic person.
That being said, before we sign off, I almost think sometimes that as an artsy person, sometimes I am addicted to those lower vibration emotions, because it brings out a feeling inside me that allows me to experience life in a way that makes me feel alive.
So there are people that, I had a discussion the other day with someone that said there are people, actually, we had a discussion back and forth, because they believed you have to have extreme darkness to appreciate the light. And I am a believer that you can appreciate the light without the darkness. I just don't believe that you have to go all the way to the bottom of the well to believe in the rainbow.
That's your take.
That's my take.
And
but both are right.
Both are right. I might agree with the person, whoever you were discussing with.
And that's why I love our conversations.
I tend to really, really appreciate that melancholy, dark despair. I really appreciate it, because once I experience that, I realize, oh my gosh, I now almost find the other side euphoric.
Yeah, it's like when your mouth is so dry and cracking. That
all of a sudden, water,
that small drop of water, is like just the nectar of the earth.
It's like living your life on the extremes of the teeter-totter.
Yeah. It's like
instead of in the middle.
It's like even just moisture is nectar from the earth. It doesn't even have to be water. Just moisture, just something that has moisture in it is so nice.
We're getting a little off topic, but
I get it.
What we started with is the art reveals the artist. Thanks for joining us today. Keep living lucky. Bye-bye. If the idea of living lucky appeals to you, visit us at startlivinglucky.com.